This is Educated Artistry. All right, guys, welcome to this week's episode of Educated Artistry. And I'm actually joined by a returning guest, Catie DiMaggio, or Catie D Artistry on Instagram. Catie joined us on episode 91, where we talked about the evolution of motherhood and business. And this was a super popular episode. So if you haven't had the chance to listen to it, then I'm going to link it in the show notes because I know a lot of people connected with that episode. But today, Catie and I are going to be talking about planning and prepping your business for the holiday season. Because when this episode airs, it's like October 4th, I believe. So we are in like the beginning of the holiday grind. And as many of you know, if you have had your beauty business for a few years, you know that the holiday season is the busiest time for most beauty business owners. So we're going to be talking to Catie about creating irresistible offers that stand out from others, optimizing retail sales, and creating a plan for your clients to actually continue returning to you in January and February, which I'm really excited about because I feel like that's a big thing that people see, that slow season right after the holidays. So we want to get some tips from Catie on how to make this something that doesn't happen. So welcome back, Catie.
Hello, thanks for having me again. I'm so excited to be here and talk about all this.
Me too. So let's just start off with like, how have you been? I think the last time we talked, you were busy like creating systems for your new employees and you were kind of stepping back from taking clients. So where are you and how are things going?
Yeah, so I feel like, gosh, so much has changed. I own Midtown Beauty Co. in Ventura, California, and it's still thriving. I did end up hiring and bringing on three new girls. So now I think there's six of us. And we have, a lot of different specialists there. Our memberships are continuing to grow. And I really have pulled back from being in the treatment room. I think that's one of the hardest things when you go from solo to building a salon. You have to pull out of the treatment room. There's just no way to run the business how it needs to be ran when you're in the treatment room so much. So it actually just happened. So in like September, October, I'm pulling back to only 1 day a week, which is a huge step for me because I still have a really big clientele. So, I'm not taking new clients. I'm really focusing on training and bringing up the team, mainly because I have some big goals for next year. So, I'm actually expecting my third baby, and we're so excited, but there's really no way that I can continue to be so hands on in the business once this next baby comes. And I just don't think that's some of the goals that I have, like my family and I have. So, I'm really focusing on this pregnancy to make sure that the business is really in a place where I don't have to physically be there and really take clients and just work on focusing building up my girls. So yeah, that's how it's going. And yeah.
No, that's really exciting. And I know how hard it is to step away from clients. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
So I'm really excited to get into talking about prepping for the holiday season because I feel like a lot of times there's not a lot of strategy taught around it. We both started in retail before we got into our beauty businesses. And like I personally felt like it prepared me kind of for the holiday season in the beauty industry when it came to like running promotions, selling retail, and just having like the increase in demand. So do you feel like there's anything that you took from that retail experience to bring it into your beauty business?
Absolutely. And I think about all of the years I spent in retail and how much prep you have to do. You like as a store manager, when I was a store manager, there's no way that I was getting my Black Friday schedule out. the week before Black Friday. We're talking like I'm strategizing hours. I'm looking at my LY numbers, like my last year numbers. I'm looking at what the promotions are. Are there certain hour promotions? Like I'm really strategizing behind who is my best seller? When are they going to be scheduled? Does everyone know the promotions? There's so much prep work that goes into it. And I feel like a lot of businesses, if you fail to do the prep work, it's like that saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But you really have to put the prep work in. And I think a lot of times as a solo entrepreneur, when you're working in your business so much, you're like, oh, okay, I'll do that later. Oh, okay, I'll do that later. Like, oh, we're not even in October yet. Why should I even be thinking about what my promotions are? Or why should I even be planning things? People aren't going to stop getting their services done for the holidays. They're going to want to treat themselves. Like they're going to want to continue to come back. And that's not always the case. And I already see a huge flux in how my clients are spending right now. And so strategizing specific ways and things to do to continue to get my clients to come back, but also to maximize what I'm able to bring in is huge. And the prep work, it has to be done. You have to schedule the time to do the prep work, or else you're going to be like me when I was solo entrepreneur. I wake up on Thanksgiving morning like I need a Black Friday deal for tomorrow. And then you throw together some random idea that you think is a good idea. Like you want to book more full sets. So you put together this offer for clients that's not enticing. It's not incentivizing. Just because you like it doesn't mean that it's going to attract your client and the bookings that you want. So I think you really have to understand, what's your goal? Is your goal to book more clients? Is your goal to increase your ADS? Is your goal to continue to have clients coming back? Is your goal to get more reviews on Google and Yelp? Like, what's your ultimate goal? So you can strategize and prep for that. And I definitely think that my experience in retail really helped me out because I had to become a planner. I'm not a great planner. I have horrible ADHD. So if you want me to think about something in the future and there's like no rush to think about it, I'm like, oh, I have plenty of time. And my business did not thrive for many years during the holiday season, because I was just so convinced clients would just continue to keep coming back, even if I didn't run a special. And so I really think that the prep work is huge, but also we have to talk about it. We can't just post online or on social media and expect our clients to understand. I think a huge part of being able to continue to build a clientele that wants to come back to you, and that loyal clientele, is being able to have certain conversations. Really get to know your clients, really strategize the kind of conversations that you're having, and think a little bit deeper than just those, hey, how are you? How's your day going? Oh, it was so good to see you today. I'll see you at your next lash fill. You really have to understand what they're going through, who they are. Are they a kind of person that like shops for their friends for the holidays? Do they have a lot of kids they have to spend money on? Like, how can you have these kind of conversations to get to know them at a level that you can make these suggestions to what their pain points are, what their needs are? How can you help them in just more than one way? And really understand, again, who they are and who you're speaking to. But also understand that it doesn't just stop when they come in for a facial. No, my clients need to know that I do all of these services. And I want to know, like, where are you getting all of these services done? How can I help to really help save you time, especially because everyone's so busy in the holiday season. And so add-ons are so important especially during the holiday season. How can you maximize your time and your client's time? And that was huge in retail as well. I feel like this client's coming in and they're not going to be here for very long, but I need to understand what they need. How can I serve them, and how can I get them in and out and make it like a seamless experience? So I really owe a lot of my success in my business to retail, although never thought I would say that, but I feel like it really did help me prepare for this.
Yeah, I totally agree with mine as well. It just taught me things that I didn't think I'd ever use again that I use all the time, even when it comes to like displaying my retail and like changing it up every month and changing what the focal point is, that kind of stuff I brought into this that makes it a huge difference. I also love what you're talking about. I just did an episode last week at this time talking about thriving during a slow season. And I talked about that where it's like talking to your clients, do you have a service that you can add on for them? Because, it's going to make it a better client experience and get your average dollar sale higher. And I think you even did a video about cleanser, like a TikTok, or I feel like it came up on my For You page where you're like, why aren't you talking about cleanser? If they're not buying cleanser from you, they're buying it somewhere else. They
Yes.
might as well be buying it from you.
It's so true. And it's like you have to think about some of the basic things. Like clients are washing their face. I don't care if it's a bar soap, if it's from Face Reality, if it's from a certain brand, like they're washing their face. And if they're not getting it from you, they're obviously buying it from somewhere else. And they might be buying it from somewhere else and it's completely destroying their skin. It's completely the wrong type of cleanser. And I think when you think about, well, I also think it goes back to just being comfortable in your own business. And you could be making a great amount of money and you're like, why do I really need to make more? Or I feel like I work hard enough. Like, why do I need to push for that? Or why do I need to talk about that? And it's true, there's nobody above you. When you're a solo entrepreneur, there's no one above you telling you what specific goals to hit or what your income needs to be and all of that. So I really feel like sometimes it's a lack of motivation, it's a lack of discipline, it's a lack of routine, but really understanding like if they're not buying gift cards from you, but they're shopping for their friends, they're buying gift cards somewhere else. So how can we bring up that kind of conversation without feeling salesy, without feeling like you're selling, without feeling pushy? And a lot of that goes back to, do we know what we're talking about? Do we understand the importance of what we're talking about? Are we confident with what we're talking about? That all comes out in how we have these conversations, and it all comes out and ultimately affects the outcome of whether or not your clients are going to be buying from you. But yeah, it's so true. Like people are getting their eyebrows waxed somewhere. And if you offer eyebrow waxing, why isn't your client coming to you?
No, for sure. And I want to get into gift cards and promotions too, because I remember last year you did a pretty long series on talking just about gift cards. And I love the way you go about it. And I think there's a lot of really important do's and don'ts. But first, let's go into just when do you think someone should start prepping for the holiday season, or when do you start? And what are like the top three things you kind of start thinking about besides what you mentioned about what does your business actually need? Like, do you need new clients? Do you need reviews? But what would be the next steps for someone to start preparing?
I think that by the time this episode comes out, you should have already taken the holiday prep and plan workshop or gotten the replay and, get the replay on that and start prepping now. I really don't feel like there's too soon of a time to start prepping. I think it can help ease your experience yourself for the holiday season. The last thing you want to do is stress yourself out. So prep as early as you can. And this could be even just sitting down and brainstorming, what your goals are, what you need to do, and then figure out what supplies do you need. If you are choosing to give client gifts or things like that, where are you ordering from? How far in advance do you need to order? How many do you need to get? What's your budget? I talk about all of that in the holiday prep and plan class because believe it or not, I don't gift every single client. And I kind of strategically talk about why. But I do think that some of the top three things I would say you could start planning would definitely be like your promotions. So what kind of deals are you running? Are you creating one single like irresistible offer that you're going to be offering for the whole holiday season? Are you going to be offering customized treatments that are, season based? So do you have like something that's pumpkin or something that is more winter, like berry? Or what kind of specific experiences are you creating for your clients? So what I would fall under promotions. Definitely looking at your schedule. I will share one big tip that has helped me get through holiday seasons. I don't open up my availability fully to the public. My books are actually closed off. You can only book with me in store or like via text or call. And that's just strategic because my books are so full and I'm not trying to take clients. But even with my girls, I have specific days that I block off that we use kind of as like flex days. So let's say, for instance, you have to reschedule a client or people get sick or whatever it is, and you've completely maxed out your books and it's like November 1st and you're like, I'm full for the rest of the holiday season. If that's the case, you might want to raise your prices or think about like, if I always think you should be taking new clients. I don't think you should ever close your books off unless you're in a situation like me where I'm trying to step away and build a salon. But definitely, I think a lot of people really screw themselves over by completely maxing out their hours, maxing out their days, booking all of these clients, and giving all of these options available. I really think that you should have, especially in November and December, possibly one day a week where it's closed off for online booking and you only book on that day in person, or if it is like maybe it's a new client, or like if you're a lash artist but you want to also offer lash lifts, maybe you book one day a week just doing lash lifts or something like that, to where you don't feel so stressed out, because that will happen. You will like overfill your books, and then you're going to be working these insane hours. You're going to get so burnt out, and you're not going to be able to enjoy the holiday season yourself because you're so busy taking care of other people. So I would definitely say that. And then also I would work on marketing. So this is actually something I'm working on just throughout my pregnancy to prep for maternity leave, but really utilizing my emails and my SMS text messages and preparing them. Like, you can schedule out emails, you can schedule out your text campaigns. And so thinking about, what do you want to talk about? How can we keep our, email list engaged? Are there certain specific deals or promotions we can run just for our email list? That way we're not blasting a lot of specials all over social media, but really going in, reminding your clients to pre-book their appointments. Right now, we started September 1st. We are booking out all of our regulars through December. So if you're a regular, you have appointments with us through December. And then going into like October, November, that's when we're continuing to book out and say that, our books are filling up for it. I always love to, I'm not lying, our books do fill up fast, but I do think that encouraging clients to continue to book out because your books are filling is huge. So we have a lot of momentum going into the holiday season because I think we're just so excited, but it's so important to keep that momentum going. Like, your business does not stop in January and February. And so if we stop booking clients because, oh, it's the holidays, I'll see you next year, and we're not booking them out through March and April, that's where I think there's a big disconnect. But yeah, that's what I would say. I would say promotions, your schedule, and marketing would be some top three things.
I do the same with my schedule. I always sit down, and depending on what days the holidays fall on, I don't even know what they fall on this year, but I think it worked out with my schedule. But in the past, there'd be days where those were my regular working days where it fell on like Christmas Eve or Christmas. So sitting down, I usually do in September, I sit down and I just kind of block out the days or readjust my schedule for the rest of the year. And then I do the same where I invite all of my regular clients to book out through the rest of the year. And they all freaking love it. They're like asking me in August, like, can I book out for the rest of the year? But I think that's a good pattern to get into. Like, we should always be encouraging our clients to pre-book. And people, I don't know why they think it's scary. I just see it as like a customer service thing, right? Like, I want to make sure you get the day and the time that works best for your schedule. Like, that is all you have to say.
I think the other thing too is when you pre-book someone at the end of their appointment, or you encourage them to pre-book, you're basically telling them, like, I want you to come back. Like, I need you to come back. I I enjoy your company. I enjoy you as a client. We all know that if there's a client we're not like, super fond of, we may not offer a pre-book. And so I think that our clients can really understand that they're wanted and valued because we're like, hey, you're important to me, you're VIP, you're valued. Make sure you get a day and time that works for you while you can. So important.
Yeah, it definitely is. What are a couple ways that you like, or strategy that you have for increasing your average dollar sale, especially during the holiday season?
So I think that it's so important. I love to work my front desk. My receptionist did just leave. I love her to death, but she ended up getting a different job. And so I have been working like my front desk more. And I love it because I love when clients react when I tell them like, oh, we do facials too, or we do lash lifts too. They're like, what? You do? And the fact that people are coming to the salon and they don't know that, like, clients don't always know and understand everything that we think they know and understand. And so when it comes to increasing your ADS, There's two big ways for me. One is to increase the amount of services that clients are getting. So if a client is coming for 2 hours, let's do a lash lift, brow lamination, and like a mini facial, or we're adding on a lip wax or an underarm wax or something to where we can increase the amount of money that they're spending in that time frame. Not only that, is we're rebooking them for all of those services. I don't want you to just come in and try it once. I want you to fall in love with it, and I want you to continue to book that chunk of time at that price point, going forward. But really, it's talking about if you have a lash client on your table, like, why are we not talking about waxing their lip, or if they do their sideburns or underarm waxing, brow waxing? I know sometimes brow waxing doesn't come fast for some people. But I think it's also really cool to see, like, I used to always challenge myself, like, okay, I just added on a brow wax, but I don't have like time for it. So what can I do to speed up this process, while still giving an amazing experience? But I think it can really challenge you with how much time do you really need to perform these extra services, because sometimes we give ourselves too much time, sometimes not enough. So having a list of these add-on services that you can do, put it next to your station and your back bar, and challenge yourself with goals of how many add-ons can I do, which I'll talk about later, which I do with my employees. So yeah, increase services. And then retail. Retail is so huge, and I feel like it's such a missed opportunity. I think, like, we understand because we come from a retail background, but I mean, with retail, you're not swapping your time for this sale. Essentially, I mean, you're talking about it and you're introducing it to the client, things like that. But it goes back to, like, everybody buys a moisturizer, everybody's buying, a cleanser, or a lash growth serum, or a lip gloss, or brow products. I really, really am emphasizing retail in this year's holiday prep and plan workshop, because again, it's a huge missed opportunity. And I know that a lot of people are seeing less clients. So if your books are softer in these next few months, you're going to have less opportunity, so to say, because you're seeing less clients. So how can you maximize your potential with your clients? It goes back to having conversations with them, getting to know them. What do they need? And so then it goes back to just introducing these products to the clients. Samples are great, I think, as long as you're going to follow up with the client and ask them, how did you like that? And then, that can lead to purchasing of a regular price item. But because we're seeing less clients, how can we incentivize someone to spend more on retail than just maybe that one product that they need? So samples or some kind of like gift with purchase is a huge incentive for clients to want to, reach a minimum amount versus just take one cleanser. I also think that anybody, like, if you're an esthetician or cosmetologist, I mean, you could be selling skincare. You may not specialize in facials or skincare, but having those options for clients, like, you can be a go-to because they trust you. So those would be like two huge ways to increase your ADS.
Yeah, I love both of those. And I feel like if you don't sell retail in your salon right now, the holiday season is the perfect time to kind of dip your toes into it. And I know a lot of people get nervous and they feel salesy and stuff, but it really is doing a service to your clients. But I think it's the best time to get started or to introduce new things. Like maybe it's a new skincare line or anything like that, because I do feel like people will tend to buy more during the holiday season, and that is just a great time to introduce something. And if it does well, then you can keep it in your salon year round.
So people feel salesy. And I think, I'm just speaking for myself, if I was to sound salesy, I also think, like, who cares if I sound salesy, because I love this product. I know that if once you use it, you will absolutely love it. And the confidence I have in the products that I sell, I'm not just selling them to sell them to make money. I'm selling them because I genuinely believe in them. And that's when selling retail and offering retail to your clients gets easier, because you actually genuinely believe in the product. If I didn't believe in it, I wouldn't have it here at my shop. Like, a lot of clients, I love when they ask me, "Oh, do you like Image, or do you like Glymed? And I'm like, absolutely. Like, if I didn't love them, I would not be offering it to you as a solution to your problem, right? So I think when you get to know your products, you love it, you use it, you try it, it really shows in how you come off. So that's huge. And that's something that we can start to work on at home and then bring that back to work with us.
Yeah, that's so true. So I want to get into gift cards because I remember you talking about this last holiday season, and you had a really cool way how you leverage gift cards and a lot of good do's and don'ts, because I think a lot of people don't know, like there's like the expiration date with gift cards and stuff. Like there's certain rules with them that I don't think a lot of people know. So can we talk about how you use gift cards for especially the holiday season?
Yeah, so I love to run a special. It's called Buy 100, Get 100. I feel like it's been around in the beauty industry for so long. I didn't come up with it. It's not my original idea, but I love to kind of help my clients in the sense of, if you are buying a gift card anyways, I'd love to help support you and give you these $25, or you could do whatever amount you want. Essentially, gift vouchers. I do them on like little gift cards, but essentially a little voucher to where it does have an expiration date. So I do ask that clients return using them during certain dates. But sorry, it can get kind of confusing when I explain it because I get so excited about it. So essentially, my client comes and purchases a $100 gift card. This gift card can be used and given to anybody else. Preferably, they don't buy it and use it on themselves just to get like the little gift I give them. But when you purchase $100 in gift cards, you get 5 separate $25 gift cards to pass out to friends and family. And it basically is like you're giving them free $25 to come and use on any service with us here at Midtown. I ask that, again, you don't use the gift card or the little gift vouchers on yourself, that you pass them out to new clients, not clients that already come to see us. There are a lot of things that I ask. I think last year people were like going ham on me on TikTok because they were like, you have too many rules. Like, I would never do that. And the beauty of it is that it's my business. So I can have whatever kind of stipulation I want around this. In the whole big picture, if a client comes to me in August with this $25 gift card that they got from a friend in, last Christmas, I'm going to honor it. Like, I'm not going to be a stickler about it and say you had to use this in January and February. And I think that's also the beauty of just nurturing your clientele and really understanding, where other people are coming from. But they purchase a plastic gift card. I love to do my gift cards through Square, although I did switch booking systems, so I think I'm going to get them through the booking system I work with now. But I love the plastic ones. I order special ones for this promotion. So I specifically know which gift cards are for the $25 that, clients can redeem. Another thing is to just print out like a $25 gift voucher. I know that in California, purchased gift cards cannot have an expiration. So the initial $100 cannot expire, which we know that. But the free $25, I guess as long as you're not calling them gift cards, they can expire.
Yeah, I think that's where people do the difference of like the gift voucher and then the gift card. So yeah, because if they purchased it, they spent money on it. It's almost just like a debit card or something that has $100 on it. But the vouchers can have an expiration date.
Yeah. So I typically say, on the voucher, it has kind of the rules like for use in January and February, good towards any service, any other things that I have there. I'm actually thinking about doing it just slightly different this year and doing like buy 100, get 100 still. But instead of the $25 gift cards, I guess they would get 4, not 5. I suck at math. But what you want to do? I'm thinking about just doing like 2 $50 gift cards or $50 gift vouchers, because we do get a lot of redemption on these going into January and February. It really does help us get new clients during those times. And it also helps my clients with little gifts that they can get so they don't have to actually like physically purchase, this little gift card for them. I might switch it up this year and just do 2 $50 ones. But we're going to see. I do love how this promotion works. There's other things I've done in the past where like you purchase $50 in gift cards, you get 20 to use on yourself. or purchase $100 in gift cards, get $50 to use on yourself. Like there's different other tiered offers to incentivize clients to purchase gift cards for new clients, which can ultimately help build your books going into next year. So I think being strategic about it, and if gift cards is one of your goals, then I think that having one of these offers is huge.
I really love it because I do feel like sometimes when people offer gift cards, they get this big influx of money that month, right? That where they sold all these gift cards and then people come and redeem them and then maybe they're probably not making as much because either, the gift card was the whole service cost or whatever. So I really like the idea with giving the gift vouchers to friends and family to bring new people in because that's got to help with the books January and February. So I think it's super smart. So, since you do have employees, how do you get them excited for the holiday season? Do you have any strategies for giving them extra perks or bonuses or anything fun like that?
Yeah, so we have been loving doing contests, like monthly contests. And I think now that the team is growing, we've got some really competitive girls, and I love it. I love a good competition.
Me
Um,
too.
I'm like,
It makes me
can I
think of
win? Like,
retail when we did competitions and stuff of who sold the most jeans one month or
yes,
whatever, and I
yes.
love that stuff.
Like, peak Saturday and like all of these different things, focusing on like some of these bigger income days. But I definitely think that I've already put a huge focus on rebooking their clients. So my employees know that, yes, I am there to help support and mainly get their books filled. I think that's just my job as a salon owner. Excuse me. I also think that they are responsible for making sure that they can retain the clients that come into the shop. So we have a huge focus on rebooking and also getting clients to try new services. So that goes into contests that I will run for like a whole month. Let's say in November, we will have like an add-on contest. Who can add on the most services this month? And so if their client booked for a facial, but they were able to add on like a lip wax or eyebrow wax, like a point system is given to where whoever has the most points can win. I actually let my employees choose their prizes because in the past I've given prizes and like they're like, I don't know if I want that. So I think having a prize that your employees like really love is so important. So I let them kind of pick and we come to a conclusion on what the gift is going to be.
What are
Um,
some of the options that you usually give them?
we actually are finishing up a content contest for who can create the most content for August and September. And I gave a $200 budget. So this is what the price would be. I had everybody put 2 ideas into a basket and then I kind of picked the top 3. And then together we chose the top one. But people were looking at like just cash money, of course, just give me $200. People were looking at like using it towards like paid time off, so like a PTO day. They were also like gift cards to like their favorite store, whether it's Target, Amazon, Lululemon, like all of these different places that they love. One of the girls wanted $200 towards her Botox appointment. So I know other people who have employees and they've done like tickets to LashCon or tickets to an event or paying for part of a training or something. So I think that we have to understand as salon owners that money may not be the most incentivizing thing. And so if I say, $200, I'm like, who wouldn't want $200? But also, how can you put it into a perspective that they're going to be like, oh, I really want that. So for this one, we did just do $200. That was what the consensus was. But yeah, PTO days or like maybe being off on like, if it doesn't hurt the business, looking at like maybe like a peak day off or like a day in December, like an extra day in December or something. I think just asking your employees is super important too.
Yeah, I know that's really cool. What are some that you have planned coming up the next couple months?
Okay, so for October, we're going to do, I think, a retail and review contest. So who can sell the most retail. This one always gets so competitive and it's so funny. Like I love seeing my girls sell retail and they just have a whole different vibe to them when it's contest month. And so we're going to do reviews in retail. So who can get the most reviews on Google and Yelp and then who can sell the most retail. And then what I typically will do is I'll increase the commission they make on that retail during that month. So that way, if you're the winner, you get X amount versus what you would normally get. So it kind of just incentivizes you. Again, your reward can be based off of how much that you sell. We're definitely doing like some spirit days. So we're going to be like dressing up. We're going to be like our shop's already decorated. So we're definitely going to be getting into the holiday spirit. I just got us all these really cute sweatshirts because we're doing a ghouls night out, like open house in October. And so I got us these really cute sweatshirts, like Halloween themed sweatshirts to wear. And then we're taking off some time in November during like Thanksgiving weekend. We're going to be doing a nice 4-day weekend for us just to get us kind of back into the groove of things to be able to take December on. And then, team dinners, I'm going to be bringing a lot, I wouldn't say catering, but like I'm going to be bringing in a lot of food for them during like some of our busiest days, just to kind of take the workload off of them of having to prep all their meals and things like that. But yeah, so I'm excited. It's so much fun with employees during the holiday season. I kind of miss that aspect of retail and that just like vibe that you get during such a busy season. So I'm really trying to take advantage of it this year and like max out what I can do.
Hell yeah. No, I think that's really fun. And I think that's why I definitely wanted to have you on, because I feel like with employees, it's such a different game than when you're just by yourself trying to prep for the holiday season, like trying to prep for all these other people with the busyness, the increase, the competitions and stuff like that. Like it's really cool. And I think that makes it really, really fun.
Yeah, it just builds culture, and that's really what I think a lot of people are craving right now in a salon setting is the culture. And so I really want to elevate that.
Yes. So you do have, we talked about a little bit, the Masterclass holiday prep and plan. I know you're running it on October 2nd, and I do believe this episode comes out on October 4th, but there is a replay available. So do you want to talk about kind of what's covered and what's included in this Masterclass?
Yeah, so a huge portion of it is going to be prepping and planning our promotions and our irresistible offers, so to speak. So, what services do you want to fill your books with, and what are your goals ultimately for your business? So, how can we create offers to help to support that? We're going to dive into retail. I did not dive into retail as much as I wanted to last year because retail was not a big focus for me last year. It was more about the experience. I think experiences are great. I think by now you've probably heard me and you, just everyone's talking about the experiences, the experiences. So we're elevating the experience this year by focusing on how we can have the correct verbiage and a specific plan for selling retail, and how we can do it in a way that's going to support the business's goals and aspirations, all of that. We're going to talk about how, again, irresistible offers, but not just like generic discounts and promotions. Like we're really diving deep into perceived value, and everybody can be giving facials, but how can you stand out and how can you customize and create something that clients are really going to love? So I'm going to dive into that. There's a done for you holiday checklist. So kind of like month by month, what you should be tackling, what you should be doing, and how to kind of stay on track with that. It's so easy to get behind. There's going to be a lot of done for you marketing, to promote your services, your retail products, and your offers. So it kind of can take that guesswork out of like, oh my gosh, what do I post? How do I create this? How do I design it? There's going to be just a lot of done for you things that you can just go plug and play all of your promotions in to save you time, because we know that our time is so valuable. There's going to be specific plans for how to get your clients back in January and February. So the gift card promotion that I run is just one of the many ways that I fill my books for January and February, and how I can have, if you look at my numbers, I should post them on my TikTok. If you look at my numbers from December, they were the exact same in January. Like I had no fluctuation, and I didn't add any employees. We didn't add any hours. If anything, I want to say we worked less in January, but we were able to continue to get our books, our numbers in, which was what the goal was. So we're going to have that. And then we're going to talk about client gifts that don't break the bank, and how you can prep for that, and how you can utilize client gifts again to work in your favor to continue to build that loyalty and that client retention. I want to let people know that during the holiday season is least likely time that your clients will leave you for someone else. But come January and February, people are out looking for new people. And if you are not creating a consistent experience through the holiday season and continuing to elevate what you do, If you're just continuing to get comfortable with your regulars, clients are going to start looking elsewhere. And so we're strategically planning on how to keep them coming back into next year. I think that's a huge focus in this prep and plan class because we know we're going to be busy. If not crazy busy, we're going to at least have steady income going into the holidays. So we want to continue that flow going into next year. So that's really what we're going to be talking about. I know we all have busy lives and we have so many things going on. I want everyone who takes this class to understand that, like, I want you guys to enjoy the holiday season. And so prepping and planning for what's to come is really the only way that you're going to be able to sit back and let your automated marketing emails do its thing and watch your books kind of fill without you having to, do it all manually like by yourself. So I'm excited. The replay is available. There's also a special coaching call bonus if you purchase a holiday prep and plan class. It's only available at checkout when you purchase it. But I am running a special for coaching calls where we can strategize one-on-one with your specific business and kind of dive deep into what you need to do. And so that way you have more of like a customized experience to be able to implement a lot of this.
Yeah, I love that, and I'm super excited for everybody taking that course. I'm gonna have it linked in the show notes, so if you're listening, it'll be there so you can go grab it. I wanted to say I loved how you said about people are gonna start looking other places, usually in January, and I just wanna add, this is why I don't do price increases in January. I do them always in October.
Yes, don't do price increases in January.
Yeah, and you know what? It's so funny because I swear January or I would say December comes around and everyone's like, "My prices are increasing January 1st." Like, I always see that in the beauty industry, and I'm like, "No." I like to do mine usually in October because and it is a strategic thing because I'm like, clients are less likely to wanna go and, like, find somebody new, try something different, even though I do know that, like, my clients like, I give a really good customer experience, they have good retention with their lashes, but, that extra 10 or $15, they're like, "I don't even wanna have to try to look for somebody else, to save that." And then they're tending to spend a little bit more money with shopping, so then when you do a price increase in January, even if it is 10 or $15, they're, like, looking at their credit card statements of how much they just spent on Christmas, they're like, "Ooh, maybe I need to take a break," right? So I always do mine in October versus January, and I think that is just perfect for both those things.
Yes, I definitely think I'm so glad you brought that up. It's a huge point. People think, oh, new year, new prices, and then they wonder why their books are like a lot softer than, how they were before. And it's true. A lot of people have New Year's resolutions about saving money and budgeting and doing all of these things. So come January 1st, if you're now 15% higher, $15 more, you might be the first to go and they're going to go find somebody else, for the next few months who can do it cheaper. Maybe they'll come back to you, who knows? But I love that you talk about that. I do think that October is the perfect time to increase your prices. Also, because, yeah, people aren't going to be, well, I say that people aren't going to stop their services going into the holidays. They might like not come as often, but I definitely think that, yeah, October is a great month going into it. Definitely, please don't do it in January.
I know. Well, and I love too how you're talking about not only is it going to be busier with like the uptick in clients, but it's just busier in your personal life too, with parties and seeing your family, taking extra time off. So it is really important to make sure you are planning and prepping this because I remember personally my first few years, I was, well, and I worked at a salon for, an employer the first year and they didn't do anything fun or care about our like health and wellness but like you do. But I remember being so drained during the holiday season that I felt like, well, I can only stay with my family. They live 2 hours out of town. I'm like, oh, I can only stay with my family and then I got to get back. And that was something working in retail. When you're a bestseller, you always get booked or you always get scheduled at the peak time, right? So and then the mall would open at like 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving. So I would always like eat we would eat really early. I would be able to drive back so I could get there because they wanted me there at the peak time. And that was something going into the like my beauty business, I was like, I don't wanna do that anymore. Like, I wanna have the holidays, and then I kinda still did it for a little bit, but not having the plan and then everything in place, and even just going through my schedule is what really made a big difference.
Yeah, it does suck. I lost a lot of holidays with family and with my friends because yeah, I was stuck working, and I think the beauty of being able to have your own business, even if you are an employee and you work for someone else, being able to communicate those needs and having an employer that understands like the value and the importance of that. I'm trying to get my girls on a good break so that way they can come back just ready to rock, and also understand like just because Saturdays might be an important day, like it doesn't mean that you don't deserve a Saturday off to go be with your family, you know? So that's really important. We are going to talk about in the holiday prep and plan class, we talk about Black Friday, we talk about how to utilize Small Business Saturday to get your name out there. And a lot of other things. I'm talking about how to, host an open house and how to do things like that with other local businesses and just a lot of fun ideas. So you're definitely not going to want to miss it.
Seriously, is this just like a one-day class?
Yeah, so it's
The
just a
Zoom?
one 90-minute Zoom class. I think last year it was like an hour and 45 minutes, but there's going to be some live Q&A in there. It's all live via Zoom, and then it's just uploaded into your Kajabi portal so that way you have access to that. There's a workbook PDF that goes in with it so you can kind of follow along and write things down. We know that the power of writing things down is huge. There's also going to be supply lists for certain things that I use during the holidays that's going to be linked there so you have instant access to that. There's going to be websites where I purchase certain things for holidays, all of my holiday experiences, brands that I love to work with like direct links on where you can find all of it. I'm basically prepping for you in the sense that you don't have to go out and find that, you're going to do a chocolate s'more facial. I'm basically going to tell you exactly how to put together a chocolate s'more facial for the holiday experience, but things like that. So make it really easy on you guys.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, everybody needs to go take this masterclass, especially if you do not have any idea of or have ever had to do any like planning or prepping for the holiday season. I think it's going to be super beneficial. And thank you so much for coming on today too and just giving us all of your knowledge. And I know that there's going to be so much more that you're going to be sharing inside the masterclass. So I appreciate you taking your time and coming on here to talk to the listeners and give them some really good advice and tips on prepping for the holiday season.
Of course. Thanks for having me on again. I feel like we could always just talk forever.
I know. It's such a good problem.
I know. Yeah, not a bad problem to have.
Not at all. Perfect. Well, why don't we just tell everybody where that they can find you and we'll wrap it up.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at Catie Artistry, and that is Catie with a C. You can also follow the shop, Midtown Beauty Co. We were voted Best of Ventura County now for the second year in a row, so I'm super excited
Woohoo!
about that. And so you can find us there on Instagram, and then the link for this masterclass will be in your show notes. I think my TikTok is the same. I think it's Catie Artistry as well, so you can find me there. I'm trying to be more active on both. But yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Catie.